Hello, you beautiful legends, and welcome to Blunt Force Healing Podcast. This is episode 468, and at the same time, it's day 468 as well, streak of all the episodes and blog posts. So every single day I post blog write-up and video update in a form of journal. And today, as you can see, we are in Gleniff's horseshoe area. I don't remember the name of this forest. It's mainly woodland with the pure purpose of growing trees for wood and harvesting them, so it's like a forestry ownership. I hope you can hear me well because the wind is quite strong. Let me switch to the camera on the other side. Here is my beautiful face. This short segment again for the starters of today's update. I was hoping that we will do something new or something refreshing instead of me recording at home or in the car again. And here we are. Beautiful steep slopes of Ben Wiskin. It's not visible at the moment, so I won't show you that, but this is amazing. Seeing snow in Ireland is not very common, and these parts of the Artery Mountains seem to have fairly cold temperatures still, and the wind is probably cooling them down enough to keep some snow on top, which is amazing considering that we had a lot of rain recently and it was very gloomy, no sun today. It's a bit chilly and windy, but at least it's dry, and we decided to come here and spend some time doing a light hike with Julian and Elizabeth. So I will be updating more shortly, but for now let me cut off and think about another place where I can record the rest of the segments. Maybe at home, or maybe I'll manage to use a bit of reminder of the day, albeit it's almost 3 p.m, so I don't think I will have enough time to go anywhere else. But this is 30th of December. We are getting close to the end of 2023. I hope this year was good for you, but I know that people tend to think about the year being bad and promising themselves that the next year will be better. I think we should learn to appreciate what we achieved so far, with all the struggles and the bumps along the way. So don't belittle yourself or don't diminish the work you've done, even if it wasn't maybe super exciting or they weren't super achieving periods of time. It's still amazing. So here a little bit more of Ben Wiskin slope, a little bit of snow in the background, and this is Gleniff's horseshoe just behind me here. There is a cave there that I will likely plan on going when it gets slightly drier and warmer, probably, so closer to springtime, but we'll see what the weather brings. For now, let me just keep going and I'll be back shortly. And welcome back. It's exactly 8 p.m. Sorry. Actually, 1 minute passed. So the day passed by already pretty quick. Especially that even though I went to sleep yesterday early, as I expected and as I was planning to, because blog post and the podcast episode were already done well before 11 p.m. I think even before 8 p.m. So I was really happy that I have it behind me and that I can properly set for bed. And yeah, we still watched something with Julian, a couple of small clips or something like that, before we went upstairs and went to sleep around 11 o'clock. So not the best achievement, I would say. I'd love to go to sleep between 10 and 11 p.m. if possible, closer to 10, but it's a long process, especially that I still have those problems that I slip through the midnight and sometimes stay over for too long. And that happened the night before, where I stayed up to 4:30 in the morning, which is ridiculous. So even though that I went to sleep earlier yesterday and woke up, I think I woke up around 5 a.m. and I could have kind of start the day already, but first it's Saturday, so I didn't have specific plans for that, and I went to the kitchen and grabbed a glass of water and then a glass of juice, and I was on the fence to decide if I should stay up or go back to sleep. And one argument made me stay, or made me actually go back to bed. It was exactly the night before. I knew that I didn't sleep enough, and even if I would sleep enough, they weren't the hours or quality hours of sleep. So even if I slept 8 hours, it didn't matter if I went to sleep at 4:30 a.m. It's just not biologically the time when body can fully engage all of the processes behind the sleep. So while yes, you sleep, you recover a little bit and you get that energy back, and certain processes do happen anyway, it's nowhere near the good quality sleep. It needs to be triggered closer to the evening hours and not nighttime if you want the full benefits of sleep. So I knew that I'm behind, and although you can't really sleep stuff back, you can still get the quality sleep anyway. And that's what I wanted to do, to regain a little bit of control and restabilize my body, because I felt already something trying to, catch me in terms of virus or other bacterial infection or something, because I was sneezing, I felt headaches, and just overall, even slightly sore throat. So I knew that something is trying to get me. So the sleep was important. And even though I already slept from, let's say, 11 to 5, that is 6 hours, which seems like the optimum sometimes for me, but I think it's the optimum set by chaotic sleep, not optimum set by my biological body's requirement. So I went back to sleep and I woke up. Well, actually, Julian woke me up about 10:30 or something. So yeah, I slept long, but I felt good when I woke up. And later on, I did all my satellite habits. Elizabeth and Julian kept doing their stuff, and we decided to go for a hike. We first drove to Rosnola. In Rosnola, we went to the bakery shack. We got some, lunch stuff. We ate them at the Rosnola beach, because you can drive to the beach. So it's a very cool thing to just drive down stop or park the car at the beach with the full view through your windshield, and you can watch the ocean while eating. Just amazing. And then, because Rosnola was kind of on the way to our destination, we drove to what's called Gleniff's Horseshoe. And we stopped a little bit earlier in the car park for I don't remember the name of the forest, but there's a little forest there. It has a separate story that I need to tell you, maybe in the other episode. But yeah, we stopped there and we were meant to go to Gleniff's Horseshoe alongside the road and come back because it's very wet, so there's no point in going into the forest paths in woodlands, because many of them will be either muddy or basically wet and boggy. But my wife decided that, well, if there's a forest here, maybe we should try and see how far can we go. And I knew that there is no loop per se that you can do there, but there are a couple of trails that you can go forth and back. So in combination, we actually did all of them. So we went to the longest and came back to the crossroad, went to the shorter one, came back, and then just before the car park, we went to another short one and came back. So altogether, we did like 6 kilometers, which was a decent hike. And views were amazing because Gleniff's Horseshoe is basically like a horseshoe kind of area or valley that is closed. There's no road through the mountains, just kind of you have the long U-turn alongside the wall of the mountain range, and you can see the big cave that is at the close to the top, and also a lot of waterfalls, and those just views were amazing, especially that we weren't aware that it must have been so cold up in Dartry Mountains that many of them still had patches of snow on them, which was amazing to see. Of course, it's not snow like in the big mountain ranges in the US or in Midland Europe, but here in Ireland, anything that is close to mountains are more like the high hills. And not high heels, but high hills. And those hills tend to have snow in the wintertime. I was expecting more snow this year because last year we had some snowy period, but temperature didn't allow that, a lot of rain. And it actually turns out, by the statistics office, which posted quite interesting information, that 2023 on average was the warmest year in history of Ireland since it was recorded. So it crossed 11 degrees on average Celsius. So you can imagine, even though we had highs and lows and sometimes extreme highs and extreme lows for Ireland, it's still average temperature was 11 degrees Celsius, which is very, very mild considering our climate. So it's a nice, I would say, quiz question or trivia question to keep in mind. Nothing of essence, because despite the fact that it was warm, it was mostly rainy and miserable. So it was probably the worst year that I am in Ireland and experienced in Ireland. So I won't be remembering it well. Tomorrow is the last day of 2023. And as I mentioned in the last episode, we might think about start getting guests onto this podcast. I think about advertising it a little bit. So obviously, if you like what I talk about, or you think that that somebody might like it or might enjoy popping here and there, or maybe even watching every day, please share and tell people about this podcast or this project in general, the blog, etc. Because the more people actually interested in listening to it come, the more motivated I am to do that. And I will be honest with you. It's not that I lack motivation, but it's very hard to talk to yourself sometimes. And despite the fact I know that I have hardcore readers and watchers like yourselves, there are people that come here. It is cool to have you as a foundation followers. I don't know you, and that's a little bit of a annoying bit because I would like to recognize you in some way. So if you're not on the shy side and you would like to let me know that you are watching the podcast or you are reading the blog or you're listening to the podcast for a long time and you remember this and that, just to tell me what was your favorite part, you can send it privately to me via DM. And until you're comfortable with me saying anything about yourself on the podcast or writing in the blog, I won't, so don't worry about it. But if you do, I will be more than happy to give you a shout out, because this is the time, if that blog or that podcast will ever get any traction, and there will be, hundreds of people maybe watching it or listening, it will be much more difficult. So now, those of you that are foundational members have their time to be recognized properly and claim that OG, I would say original gangster status, maybe someday, by saying, hey, I'm one of the founders. And to be honest, those of you that will reach out to me and allow me to know yourself as the people that are listening and are engaging, I want to give you more credit in the future as well. I don't know what will happen, but I'm sure even if I shout out now, it won't be just a single shout out, and it won't be just the only way that I will, in one way or another, thank you for that. So I hope that will make you motivated a little bit more. For time being, nothing else really happened. I want to stitch it, upload it and publish it. Tomorrow is the last day of the year, and I mentioned that already, I know, but I didn't finish the sentence that we're going to 2024. And in some countries, tomorrow night will be a special night, or many people will be celebrating that. Maybe very noisy way, launching fireworks, etc. I don't think we will. There will certainly be some fireworks in the area, because I know that there are Polish people, at least, and Polish people like very much to celebrate with fireworks. So I think we will hear a couple of those in the area. But other than that, it's more of a quiet night for us. We might sit down and just enjoy that evening. Maybe we'll go for dinner early during the day, and maybe we'll go for some New Year's hike the day after, because it's a bank holiday, obviously, and a day off for all of us. Not sure what else I can say, so I won't be dragging it. It's already 15 minutes, and I recorded about 5 minutes before, so it will be probably on the longer side, around 20 minutes episode. So specifically for that, thank you very much for sacrificing your time and spending it with me and listening to what I say or reading what I wrote. Have a great rest of the day, afternoon or evening. I don't know where you are, but I hope I will learn it over time and will be able to recognize some of you guys. And stay tuned. We'll see each other tomorrow. See ya.